Deep inside the Chernobyl exclusion zone lies a world frozen in time, hiding bizarre secrets. From mutated giants to abandoned machines still pulsing with radiation, Chernobyl is more than a ghost town, it's a mystery box waiting to be opened. In this video, we'll uncover 15 of the strangest things ever discovered in this hauntingly fascinating place. Let's start. 15. Haunted Fairground. The amusement park located in Pripyat, Ukraine, was originally scheduled to open in May of 1986 for the May Day celebrations, but those plans were canceled when the Chernobyl disaster occurred just a few miles away the previous month. Drone footage reveals the eerie state of the park today. Festive decorations remain near the rides prepared for the planned opening that never happened. The park, and its Ferris wheel in particular, has become a widely recognized symbol of the Chernobyl disaster. Visitors occasionally leave stuffed animals in their cars as a memorial. The area beneath the Ferris wheel is reported to have among the highest levels of radiation in the park. There's also an abandoned bumper car ride, with many attractions still visibly intact. Some sources suggest the park may have briefly operated before the disaster. Photographs and videos show the site in use, though it's generally believed this footage was taken earlier as part of a test run rather than a public opening. If Chernobyl hadn't happened, how different do you think Pripyat's future would have been? Share your thoughts. Comment and chat with me. But eerie amusement rides aren't the only things left behind. What happens when radiation meets living organisms? 14. Mutated creatures. Since the accident, which led to one of the largest unintentional releases of radioactivity in history, researchers have studied how wildlife in the area has been affected by radiation and how the ecosystem is recovering. While many domestic animals left the region, researchers observed that some animals that remained exhibited abnormalities and did not reproduce. As a result, scientists focused their studies on wild species and pets that were left behind. Early post-accident research reported a notable increase in genetic mutations in some domestic animals, particularly cattle and pigs. For instance, in 1990, approximately 400 animals were born with significant developmental anomalies. Many of these animals did not survive long after birth. These included variations in facial structure, limb formation, pigmentation, and body size. However, despite these early findings, there is encouraging evidence that both flora and fauna have steadily returned to the region and now thrive in many parts of the exclusion zone. If you think mutated animals are wild, wait until you hear about a forest that turned an unnatural shade of red overnight. 13. Most radioactive forests in the world. Just after midnight on April 26, 1986, a steam explosion and fire at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant caused the largest uncontrolled release of radiation in history. Just west of the plant lies Wormwood Forest, a pine forest that was exposed to very high radiation levels. Many trees died rapidly, turning bright orange. This area became known as the Red Forest. Radiation spread unevenly with the wind, contaminating nearby land. The Red Forest, located in the zone of alienation, was among the most affected areas. Despite the initial damage, biodiversity in the area has grown. With fewer humans around, nature has slowly recovered and even flourished. Nature didn't just stop at trees. Let's dive underwater to uncover what's lurking in the radioactive depths. Before exploring, I have a special 10-second request for all of you listening. If you can help me in any way, just hit the notification bell and hit that subscribe button. It helps this channel so much. And if you do that, I will do everything I can to make this show even better for you. Deal? 12. Creepy catfish. While radiation does affect local plants and animals, many such claims are exaggerated or not scientifically confirmed. One well-known example is the large catfish found in the Chernobyl cooling pond. These fish are notably large, but that's primarily due to the lack of natural predators and frequent feeding by tourists, not because of mutations. Various fish species have adapted and even thrived in these waters over time. The cooling pond functions similarly to a natural reserve. In the early hours after the Chernobyl accident, workers used the pond to help cool the reactor. Later, water from the power plant, including radioactive runoff, was diverted into it. More than 35 years have passed. Although the power plant has ceased operations, the pond remains. Wildlife living in the reservoir has been exposed to radioactive materials, but current studies suggest the catfish are biologically normal in structure. While they may contain traces of radiation, calling them mutants would be inaccurate. But the most unexpected survival stories don't belong to animals or fish. They belong to people who chose to come back. 11. Resilient elderly survivors. Today, over 1,000 square miles around Chernobyl remain restricted due to long-lasting radiation, an area expected to remain affected for generations. While the initial explosion and fallout severely damaged local ecosystems, life has slowly returned in many parts of the exclusion zone. Among those who returned are a group of elderly Ukrainian women known as the babushkas, a term meaning grandmother. Despite the risks, they chose to return to their ancestral homes after being relocated to city apartments in Kiev and other areas. For them, the emotional toll of separation from their land outweighed the physical dangers. Though many have passed on over the years, some studies suggest the women who returned have shown surprising resilience, possibly due to strong social bonds and a sense of purpose. While living conditions remain difficult, the story of the babushkas is ultimately one of endurance and connection to home. Speaking of survival, what if I told you there's an organism that doesn't just survive radiation but thrives on it? 10. Radiation-eating fungus. The human ecological footprint takes many forms, often due to the impact of industrial and technological activities on natural ecosystems. Environmental strategies are essential to maintain ecological balance, protect biodiversity, and reduce health risks. In the case of Chernobyl, much of the area remains sparsely populated, but fungi were among the first organisms to adapt and thrive under the unique conditions. Remarkably, certain fungal species have demonstrated the ability to grow in high radiation environments. Some, known as radiotrophic fungi, appear to use radiation as a source of energy. 8 such species collected from the Chernobyl site were recently sent to the International Space Station aboard a SpaceX mission for further study. These fungi are thought to rely on melanin, the same pigment found in human skin, to absorb radiation and possibly convert it into energy. Scientists are investigating how this adaptation might contribute to advancements in radiation protection, with potential applications for both healthcare and space exploration. Sounds crazy? How about this? Scientists have turned the radioactive zone into a source for vodka. 9. Vodka brewed near the exclusion zone. An artisanal vodka made with grain and water from the Chernobyl exclusion zone has become the first consumer product created in the area surrounding the damaged nuclear power plant. Named Atomic, the spirit was developed as part of a scientific initiative exploring the feasibility of using ingredients grown in lands previously exposed to radiation. According to the research team behind it, the final product is safe for human consumption. The vodka is the result of a 4-year study by scientists aiming to test whether crops grown in certain parts of the zone can be safely processed. Apples used in the recipe were sourced from a farm located within the outer area of the 18-mile exclusion zone, where access is limited and radiation levels are monitored. Roughly 10,000 people live in this outer zone today. Though farming is still officially restricted, the scientists hope their work may eventually support the region's economic recovery. Beyond creating a drink, the project was designed to raise awareness of the scientists' long-term efforts to understand ecological recovery in Chernobyl and explore safe, sustainable land use in the region. But while vodka might be filtered and tested, other everyday foods still carry a radioactive burden. 8. Radioactive cows. More than 35 years after the Chernobyl disaster, some residents in affected areas of Ukraine are still exposed to low levels of radiation through locally produced foods, including milk. Researchers sampled cows' milk from farms approximately 120 miles from the site of the accident. In some cases, radiation levels in the milk exceeded recommended safety limits, reportedly up to 5 times the limit for adults and more than 12 times for children. Despite the risks, local populations have continued to live in these regions and maintain agricultural practices. Cows remain the most common livestock, especially among self-settlers, and have even begun to roam freely in certain areas. For many, local dairy remains a practical food source due to limited access to external supplies. According to scientists, basic protective measures could significantly reduce radiation exposure from food, with estimated costs as low as $20 per person annually. These efforts could support over 8,000 residents in 6 of the most affected villages, helping to improve long-term public health outcomes. Beyond food and drink, some of the deadliest remnants are the machines left behind, silent, rusting, and still dangerous. 7. Deadly Soviet-era machinery. This contaminated storage area lies just southwest of Pripyat, in a zone known for elevated radiation levels. While most vehicles and materials from the Chernobyl cleanup were transferred to secure radioactive waste storage years ago, a few objects remain on site, such as this mechanical claw, believed to have been part of the reactor decontamination efforts. The claw, now partially hidden in the forest, is thought to have been used in removing radioactive debris from the roof of the damaged reactor unit. Some accounts suggest it handled materials like graphite or concrete fragments. After cleanup operations concluded, the claw was left in place, likely due to logistical challenges or radiation safety concerns. Today it remains in its original location and has become a point of interest on guided exclusion zone tours. Although the object still emits elevated levels of radiation, experts note that brief, controlled exposure, such as walking nearby without touching, poses minimal risk under current safety protocols. And while relics sit quietly, some say the zone has eyes watching you. Who are the mysterious visitors who never left? 6. Unsettling encounters with pursuers. At the entrance to the Chernobyl exclusion zone in Ukraine, a souvenir van offers items like t-shirts, keychains, and other memorabilia featuring stylized radiation warning symbols and gas masks. Visitors can also purchase snacks, including hot dogs, coffee, and ice cream. Over the years, this historically significant site has increasingly attracted tourists, sparking what some have called dark tourism. A subculture of unofficial visitors, often referred to informally as stalkers, has developed around the area. These individuals sometimes enter abandoned villages within the zone to explore and document remnants of life before the evacuation. Some describe it as a time capsule that offers a powerful, if haunting, reflection on history. Interest in the site has grown significantly, with recent years seeing over 124,000 visitors. Chernobyl has also inspired cultural reinterpretations. In 2007, a team of Ukrainian developers released a post-apocalyptic video game titled Stalker, set in a fictionalized version of the exclusion zone. The game, while fictional, draws from real-world themes and reflects global fascination with the site's legacy. Feeling tense? You might want to stop for lunch, because yes, there's a working canteen right inside the exclusion zone. 5. Fully functioning canteen. Interested in trying a meal at a former atomic station canteen? One of the exclusion zone's primary dining halls offers a traditional Eastern European menu tailored for visitors, including workers and guided tour groups. The menu features classic Ukrainian dishes such as beetroot and cabbage soup, porridge, potatoes, pasta, and vegetable or meat patties. Fish options and vegetarian meals are also available. Beverages include tea, coffee, juice, and the traditional Ukrainian fruit drink known as compote. For breakfast, visitors may be served scrambled eggs, pancakes, or porridge with milk, along with a warm or cold drink. Meals are prepared according to Ukrainian culinary traditions using ingredients sourced from outside the high contamination zones. According to local sources, the canteen aims to offer nourishing meals to support those working or touring in this historically significant and carefully monitored environment. If this journey through Cold War ruins and radioactive relics gave you chills, hit that like button. It helps us keep exploring the forgotten corners of history. And not far from your meal is a sports field that once echoed with cheers, now silenced and slowly crumbling. 4. Forgotten football stadium. Before the Chernobyl disaster in 1986, one of Ukraine's prominent football clubs played at Avangard Stadium. With a capacity of 5,000, the stadium was located just a few hundred yards from the now iconic amusement park in Pripyat. The team, founded in the mid-1970s, was largely composed of players from surrounding villages. The club ceased activity after the 1988 season. Today, the stadium stands in disrepair. Weathered wooden benches line the concrete stands beneath the remnants of a press box. Pripyat was once a modern, youthful city built to support the Chernobyl nuclear plant, with an average resident age of around 26. The city featured a range of leisure facilities, including nightclubs, swimming pools, lakeside cafes, and this now abandoned stadium. The football team had its most successful season in 1985, finishing second and coming close to promotion within the Soviet League structure. Today, Avangard Stadium serves as a poignant symbol of the way nature has gradually reclaimed many parts of the exclusion zone. But perhaps nothing is more chilling than what lies inside the schools, an entire room filled with haunting remnants of fear. 3. Room full of gas masks. Protective equipment, such as gas masks, was developed well before the first large-scale use of chemical weapons in modern warfare, which began in 1915. Today, images from the Chernobyl exclusion zone offer a glimpse into how nature is gradually reclaiming abandoned urban areas decades after the nuclear accident. These photographs document remnants of life in Pripyat, including a former middle school, one of 5 in the town, located near the indoor swimming pool. Inside, a large number of Cold War-era gas masks remain, some likely intended for student use as part of preparedness measures during that period. When it was operational, the school was considered modern, with music and sports facilities for children. The gas masks were designed to offer protection from nuclear, biological, or chemical threats. Although never deployed in an emergency by the students, the preserved scene serves as a historical reference to the era's civil defense practices and the daily lives of those who once lived in the region. Yet the most disturbing stories are hidden within the hospital walls, where heroes once fought an invisible enemy. 2. Pripyat Abandoned Hospital. Pripyat was once home to 50,000 people. Today it stands abandoned, a visible reminder of the Chernobyl disaster. One of the most haunting sites within the city is Pripyat City Hospital, which was once a fully functioning medical complex located on the city's outskirts. A sign on the hospital's rooftop reads, "Health of the nation, the country's wealth." The facility had 410 beds, with separate interconnected buildings housing a maternity ward, dental clinic, infectious disease unit, and morgue. On the night of the Chernobyl accident, the hospital received some of the first responders, including firefighters and plant workers. Due to radioactive contamination, much of their clothing and equipment were left behind in the basement of the hospital, where it remains today. Medical tools, documents, and supplies were also abandoned when the building was evacuated. Exposure levels in parts of the hospital, especially the basement, are considered elevated due to the presence of contaminated materials. Entry to these areas is restricted and carefully monitored for safety. Today, JAS or J. Lo 1. The hospital is a documented part of guided exclusion zone tours and serves as a somber historical site highlighting the early response to one of history's most significant nuclear incidents. And as time moves on, what was once silent now speaks again through cryptic graffiti scrawled across the ruins. 1. World's Creepiest Graffiti. After the catastrophic accident at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant, the once thriving Soviet city of Pripyat was permanently evacuated. Today, the streets and buildings of the abandoned city are slowly being overtaken by nature, with trees growing through former roads and avenues. Among the signs of change in this landscape are various pieces of graffiti created by visitors over the years. These artworks appear on building walls, doorways, and public structures, often reflecting personal impressions or artistic interpretations of the Chernobyl disaster and its legacy. While some view this as an act of remembrance or urban expression, others question whether it is appropriate in such a historically significant location. The presence of graffiti has sparked discussion about its role as either a memorial or a disruption. Many of these artworks can be seen along guided routes in the exclusion zone and are often photographed in context with the buildings around them. As time passes, some of the artwork fades or deteriorates, while new pieces continue to appear. This evolving form of expression adds another layer to the ongoing story of Pripyat. If you found today's video interesting, don't hesitate to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Your support is very important to us. Be sure to check out the next video appearing on your screen. You're sure to love the content we bring. Please leave a comment about which country you'd like us to explore next. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video. Thanks for being with us. Leave a comment, like to show your support, and remember to hit that subscribe button for more exciting videos. See you next time.